Hello and welcome to the studio. Bit of an unusual film this week because we've had a technology disaster and we are without the right editing software to do a proper film. So this is on my iPhone, so I apologise for that. And I wanted to tell you about the series that we're going to be making. Again, this is improvised because we've already shot some films to show you. So we're halfway through the project, but that's a great time to show you what I'm trying to do here. So I am trying to work with a picture of Wastwater in Cumbria. I have a sketch here, and my ambition is to see if I can combine a colour Japanese woodblock print with a Mokulito print. Now, Mokulito, for those of you who don't know, is lithography on wood, and I am just beginning to learn the process. So for me, this is very much an experimental print, and I thought I'd take you along for the ride. Normally when I make YouTube films, I kind of know where I'm going, not because I have a game plan as such, but because I know the processes inside out. So as I progress prints, I'm able to make the right decisions and have everything run smoothly. In this experimental print, none of that's happened. So things keep changing and adapting as I go along. So welcome to the real world of how I create my prints. So to show you what we're trying to do here, I have Japanese woodblocks, and I am going to use the Japanese woodblock system of registration, the Kento, to try and align these with Mokulito prints. So this is a water-based process, it's done on damp paper, and I am also working in wood lithography, Mokulito. This is an oil-based process. The one thing it has in common with Japanese woodblock is that it's done on damp paper. So I thought, hey, they're bound to work together, right? So I have prepared some blocks, and let me introduce you to the print so far. I have been working with the Mokulito side of things, and it's early days, but I have got 2 Mokulito blocks here printed, one of which I intended to print, and the second one I had rejected and then changed my mind about. So that kind of tells you what this whole film series is like. So I am about to check my registration with this print. So what I'm going to do is I have the damp paper here with the Mokulito here, and don't panic, there are loads of films in this series and they're going to take you through the whole process of how I've made these blocks, how I'm lining them up, how I've cut the registration. But for now, just come with me while I see if I can get this Japanese woodblock block to line up with these wood lithography blocks. So I'm going to print this block now, just to check things are lining up, but it's also going to put a layer of grey onto the block. And the other thing I want to see is how that watercolour paint and rice combo, water-based pigments, work printed on top of the Mokulito oil-based pigments. So if I get Ben to just pan the camera over here, you can see this print already has all this ink on it, and that is oil-based ink. So let's see how that's going to work. And I'm damping my block, and I'm going to use the corner of my pinny, because I haven't got a rag here, just to blot.
Would you like me to get you a rag?
No, it's full. Let's go with it. And I'm going to put some rice on. And this film series will also include some Japanese woodblock printing, which I will explain at greater length. But for now, I'm putting some watercolour on and some rice on this block. And I'm just going to work them together with a brush. And I'm keeping this fairly wet at the moment. Later in the film series, I'm going to want to do some drier printing. but for now I'm quite happy for it to be a little bit damp. This block that I'm working on here, I'm going to print this as a reduction print. So I'm going to be cutting into this block as I'm working and printing layers as a reduction, which is unusual for Japanese woodblock. It's usually a multi-block process. But again, this is an experimental print, so I might as well go all the way and do some experimenting there as well. So this is BFK Reeves printmaking paper that I'm handling here. So it's about 280 gram paper, and it's damp, as I say. So I'm just going to put it down into the registration and take my print. And I'm using a Baron here, my bamboo Baron, just to take the impression. The brown paper is baking parchment, which I'm using as a buffer to protect the paper while I'm working on it. Okay, so there you can see we have registration. Everything is pretty much lining up. There's the odd bit of damp there, but it's looking really good. And this opens up all kinds of opportunities for working in different ways. So I'm just going to pop that back into the package there to keep dry. So I'm sorry that this has been such an unusual film and not quite what you would expect, but I hope you're going to join me for this rather sort of bumpy ride as I develop this print and we wrestle with technology and we come to work out whether I can actually register and work with Mokulito and Japanese woodblock at the same time. I hope you'll join me again, and I'll see you in the studio.